Hey all! In all of my previous videos you heard me say a lot of good things about the Line 6 PodGo. This is not one of those videos and I'm gonna cut right to the chase. The absence of metering, both on the unit and the Line 6 PodGo edit software, is a feature that we all should have from the day PodGo was released. So why? Why do we need metering so badly? The answer to this question is actually surprisingly simple. Line 6 PodGo is a digital modeler. I repeat, a digital modeler. This means that the sounds coming out of the PodGo unit can suffer from an occurrence known as digital clipping. I'm sure most of the people that have the PodGo have heard this term before, digital clipping, but if you haven't, don't beat yourself up because there's literally only one sentence about digital clipping in the entire Line 6 PodGo manual. So to really simplify this, imagine digital clipping as a bad type of distortion. Digital clipping will occur once we push the PodGo above its limits. Now you may wonder, what are the limits of the PodGo? Well, they are the same with the PodGo as they are with any piece of digital software or digital hardware. And the limit of digital is 0. Now you may wonder what kind of 0. So to simplify the digital 0 as well, that is the point where our signal should be the hottest. And when I say the hottest, I mean the loudest. Now this is only gonna take a quick second. Check out the metering here. Check out these values right here. Now check them again once I engage a distortion pedal. From this very short example, you saw that the levels of this signal have increased when I kicked in the distortion pedal. So to repeat it once again, digital 0 is the point where the level of the signal should be the highest, otherwise digital clipping happens. So how do you actually recognize clipping when you're using the Line 6 PodGo? Unfortunately, as I said at the beginning of this video, on the unit, on the Line 6 PodGo unit itself, or inside the PodGo software, PodGo edit software, there is not a single tool that will tell you what's your maximum peak. Here's the only mention of digital clipping inside the whole Line 6 PodGo manual, which is an otherwise information-rich content which I come back to quite often. No matter what you run your PodGo through, just headphones and FR, studio monitors, or an actual guitar cabinet, clipping can happen in any of those cases. So to the Line 6 folks, I call upon your morals. You have released a digital modeler and people need to know what is happening with their tone and how loud they are. Now, clipping can actually be a dangerous thing, and I'm gonna show you a screenshot from my DAW that I use. Inside this DAW, which is called Reaper, I have an option which is technically a very important safety net, which basically mutes any track that exceeds and goes above the digital 0 by 6 dB. If I didn't have this option, well, two things could happen. One, I could blow up my speakers from a sudden overload. And two, if I was wearing headphones, I would probably suffer a major impact of a sudden clip. And that kind of an impact can actually cause permanent hearing damage, which is not funny at all. So what can you do now? First of all, don't panic. From my experience, most of the amps and most of the default settings in a scenario where you load an amp and a cabinet block is a scenario that probably won't clip on the default settings. However, I cannot be 100% sure that it will never happen to you, because you might have a monster of a guitar that has way more strings than my 6-string Fender Strat, and has thicker strings and has pickups that are much higher in output, so those things can actually happen. Clipping can happen. So I suggest that you do two things. First, you can install a DAW, which is an abbreviation for Digital Audio Workstation. You can also use the one, if it comes free with your Apple products, the one that's known as GarageBand, I think. If you're on a Windows platform, you can use Cakewalk by BandLab, which is a completely free software, or because I'm a long-time Reaper user, I strongly suggest that you try Reaper because it offers you a 60-day free trial period, which after it ends leaves you with an uncrippled version of the software, which is an experience you will not have with any of the other software developing companies today. The other thing you'll do after you install a DAW is crank that volume knob on the PodGo to the max and check your levels. Check your preset levels and check your snapshot levels. I repeat once again, if you see that any of your patches or any of your snapshots are clipping, that means that they're gonna clip anywhere, no matter what is your final source of output. I won't talk exact numbers right here, but remember this last thing. The final output control, either with the volume knob on the unit or with the little volume control on the PodGo Edit software, is a completely digital type of gain control. And that means that you can remain safely under the digital 0 without compromising your sound. Anyway, I'm gonna stop right here. But in part 2 of this video that's gonna come out in a few days, I'm gonna show you how clipping actually sounds and how you can possibly prevent it. Also, I'll share a few other tips that will probably help you understand how digital audio works today in general. That's it. Bye all.